Looks like a small crowd today. Short agenda. All right, good morning, everybody. We are going to begin today's general session for May 31st, 2016 with Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Brown.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, need an approval of the minutes of the May 3rd, May 10th, and May 17th, 2016 general session.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Aye.
the minutes have been approved.
Fantastic. All right, to the clerk of courts.
Resolution number 399-16, resolution authorizing a contract to provide security services for the auto title facilities in the amount of $455,520.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sean Reeder, Fiscal Officer for the Clerk of Courts. The clerk's auto title security contract was competitively bid through the Purchasing Department in accordance with Ohio Revised Code. The ITB was publicly advertised and posted on the Franklin County bid webpage February 4th through March 8th. 8 bids were received. Bids were individually evaluated and scored based on cost of service, capacity to perform, experience, and employee compensation and benefit packages. Willow Security provided the lowest pricing and most comprehensive response to the clerk's scope of services. The contract is for 3 years with 2 optional 1-year renewals.
Great. Was Willow, oh, I'm sorry, I missed Thursday. Was Willow your previous contractor as well?
Prior to taking on the county's Securitas vendor, yes, for like 10
We've
years.
used them for a long time. We used them when I was the clerk of courts.
Yes.
Right,
Good
right.
company.
I'll move approval of 399-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Aye.
resolution number 399-16 has
Thank
been
you,
adopted.
Commissioners.
Thanks, Sean. The engineer's office.
Resolution number 400-16, establishing, altering, and widening of State Route 161 at Cosgray Road, the City of Dublin, Washington Township, Franklin County, and Union County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Cornell Robertson, representing County Engineer Dean Ringel. This first resolution is the first in a series of 2 resolutions to declare this project necessary at the intersection of Cosgray and State Route 161. This will be a coordinated project including Franklin County, Ohio Department of Transportation, City of Dublin, and Union County.
So this is the county border.
Yes.
161 is the county border.
Correct.
It's been crazy busy up there for years, but the Costco that's going in right now has to be what's driving the need to get this done, right?
Yes, sir.
I was up there the other day. It's a zoo up there.
Yeah,
Well, good.
very congested.
It is, and it has been.
Yeah.
And this will just.
That sports complex, the
Oh.
2 sports complexes there for the youth sports complexes. Saturday afternoon, it's crazy up there. It was just a zoo. It doesn't matter what time of the year either because they have indoor and outdoor facilities. It's pretty nuts.
Very popular.
So spent a lot of my time there over the years with my kids.
Me too.
I'll move approval of 416.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Aye.
resolution number 400-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 401-16, resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to Shelley and Sands Incorporated for the 2016 Franklin County Resurfacing Program in the amount of $2,769,953.29.
Commissioners, this is our annual resurfacing program for county roadways, over 13 sections of roadways, totaling 12 miles, spread out over 10 townships. We had a competitive bid on May 10th. We had 3 bidders, and Shelley and Sands was the lowest and best bid. I should also mention that there will also be paving at the Franklin County Fairgrounds that will be included as well.
Good. I'll move approval of 401-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Aye.
resolution number 401-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 402-16, resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to Levesque Commercial Construction and Development LLC for the Franklin County Engineer Vehicle Parking Garage for Seasonal Equipment Project in the amount of $349,517.
Commissioners, as stated, this contract is for construction of a vehicle storage garage at our main headquarters on Dublin Road. We had a competitive bid on May 17th. We had 5 bidders, and Levesque was the lowest and best bid.
Move approval of 40216.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 402-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 403-16, resolution authorizing the county engineer to enter into a cooperative agreement with the Ohio Rail Development Commission for the improvement of Kinnear Road from North Star Avenue to Olentangy River Road.
Commissioners, as stated, this resolution is for a cooperative agreement with Ohio Rail Development Commission, and this will allow the railroad crossing surface to be widened for the pedestrian facilities to cross more safely. This is in the area of Lenox along Kinnear Road.
Really important. That area is not very safe, so this is great. Move approval of Resolution 40316.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 403-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 404-16, resolution authorizing a contract with Follow the River Environmental Consultant to provide expert knowledge and services to assess water quality and stormwater pollution plans at roadway construction projects in the amount of $20,263.60.
As stated, this is a consultant contract with Follow the River. Follow the River will help us with erosion control inspections, plan reviews for stormwater pollution prevention at projects such as Allen Creek Drive, at Toy Road, as well as the Kinnear Road project.
Great.
Great.
Move approval of 40416.
Second the motion.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 404-16 has been adopted.
Thanks,
Thank you all
Cornell.
very much.
The Emergency Management Agency.
Resolution number 405-16, resolution authorizing a contract with Com Products Incorporated, doing business as BNC Communications for the provision of the supply of indoor warning systems equipment in the amount of $68,400.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
Darrell
Darrell.
Kerber, Interim Director for Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security. About a year ago, our agency was made aware of a technology that would allow us to supplement our outdoor warning siren system, which is now 196 outdoor warning sirens strong, with an indoor system that would help to specifically in large venues and larger buildings. The outdoor warning siren system is an outdoor warning system. It's primarily designed for outdoors, and we saw a need where we might have a gap of the indoor, specifically, for instance, this building, where you have a large number of citizens and employees and commissioners who work here, and we wanted to take advantage of this technology. So we applied for a grant for a fiscal year 15 State Homeland Security grant. We were awarded that grant. The amount that Antoine just read to you will provide for 40 of these indoor warning systems, a battery backup for each, and the programming required. And just a little bit about it, it will work with the current controller that we have on our outdoor warning system. So it's still just actually two buttons, depending on the type of warning. It is a multi-warning capability, so it's not specifically just for tornado warnings. It can be used, it'll be specifically programmed for things like hazardous material events. And hazardous material event, as you know, it may be important to evacuate, or it might be just as important to stay in place. And this system will allow us to alert specifically to those two type courses of action. So we believe this is a great addition to our warning system capabilities here in Franklin County. And pending your questions, we're recommending approval of this resolution this morning.
I appreciate the discussion we had in briefing and happy to move for approval of 40516.
And I appreciate your discussion this morning, and I know I'm sure my colleagues always check with their representatives on the EMA, and I know you've looked at this thoroughly, and the staff work has been excellent. Thank you. It has been a gap for quite some time, because those outdoor sirens they date back to the 40s in terms of the theory of, at least we still need those, but we desperately need these. So thank you very much. I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 405-16 has been adopted.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Darrell.
Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darrell. Community partnerships.
Economic development.
I'm sorry, economic development and planning.
Resolution number
Just gonna
406-16.
skip right over your,
Review of petition to annex 2.6015 plus minus acres from Jackson Township to the city of Grove City, case number ANX ESP 2-10-16.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning. This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation from Jackson Township to the City of Grove City. The parcel is 2.6015 acres, and the property is located at 1401 Borer Road. That is south of Borer Road, east of Buckeye Parkway, and west of Jackson Pike. The petition was filed by Agent Attorney Casey Wall of Clark and Wall on behalf of the property owner Diana Perrock, the trustee of the Mildred A. Christian Trust. Casey is in attendance if you have any questions. 47.7% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with the city of Grove City, and the city passed resolution number CR-26-16 on May 2nd, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved, and a statement regarding incompatible land uses and a zoning buffer. Petition meets all statutory requirements of Ohio Revised Code 709.021. Pending any questions, we request your approval.
Move approval of 40616.
I'll second that. I just have a quick question. And the township is cooperative on this?
Yes, we didn't get any comments from the
Okay,
township.
all right, thank you.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
aye.
Resolution number 406-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll do community partnerships.
Resolution number 407-16. This resolution authorizes Franklin County to enter into a one-year contract with the Community Shelter Board in an amount not to exceed $5,150,000 to provide emergency shelter and housing services in the amount of $5,150,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have with us this morning contract for the Community Shelter Board. Again, this will provide emergency housing, permanent and supportive housing, and provide our navigator services, to single adults who are experiencing homelessness. The Navigator program will help to assist them with links to employment, job training, and other supportive services and medical care. It is estimated that the Community Shelter Board will serve 9,600 individuals through emergency shelters, provide 1,400 operational units of supporting housing for approximately 1,600 individuals, and serve approximately 3,500 individuals with the Navigator program. Pending any questions, we request approval.
Move approval of resolution 40716.
I'll second that, but I have a question. Commissioner Brown is serving on a task force related to the rise in homelessness, and I don't believe that task force has finished its work. This is more than our annual resolution. This is a combination of the Navigator program and the general support that we give to the Community Shelter Board. It's just combined this year. Is that why it's $5 million?
I mean, in the past, the program, the Shelter Board has been approximately $5 million, and it combines.
It actually was around $3 million, our commitment, and then we've added to it in increments, depending upon the need.
For emergency shelter and the
Yes.
Navigator program.
Yes, exactly. So this is a combination of all of that this year in one fell swoop. Is that essentially what's happened here?
Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. Commissioners, yes, this is a reflection of the original programming that was supported for the Community Shelter Board,
Right.
as
Where we
well
made
as
that
the
$3 million commitment back in 2005.
Yeah, it started out,
Right.
I believe, at $3,250,000
Yes.
back in 2006, approximately around that time. Since that point in time, the grant has fluctuated based upon some emergency needs, as you know. But right now, where the county is, it's the programming that Carla Williams Scott highlighted, as well as the full implementation of the Navigator program, which we initially funded as a pilot, and then we increased the funding for it to be full scale.
So this is an increase over our pilot amount to the Navigator program, plus our annual support for the Community Shelter Board.
Yes.
Okay, just want to be clear, and I think the public should know.
And Commissioner Brooks, I would say in terms of what you had mentioned about the task
Right.
force, it is looking at preventing homelessness way upstream, not dealing with people in the shelter at all, nor people getting near shelter and trying to prevent people from getting into shelter. And no, we won't be done until the end of September with our recommendations. So just to be clear on what that will be, is coming up with a plan to really intervene and come up with solutions to intervene prior to people getting into that vulnerable a situation that they need emergency shelter.
So are we, in terms of your work on the task force, Commissioner Brown, are we looking at a continued rise in homelessness?
For
through
families.
Okay, through the next 5 years, or what are you seeing right now from the work that you've done?
Don't know for sure, but we're looking to intervene with families much earlier on and see where the community intervenes in other ways with families who may be vulnerable, and see how we can help them way earlier before they become homeless and keep them in their homes.
So since, I think there's been community discussion about the levels of homelessness continuing to rise, notwithstanding our support in taking action, very expensive, a lot of dollars spent. Have you excluded the current homeless situation from the task force? Is that what I
Yes.
heard you say today? So will we continue to see a rise in homelessness that we'll have to look toward funding in this budget from the county standpoint?
We don't know yet. We hope not, because we hope we see families earlier on so they don't need to get to the emergency room, which is what shelter is and is supposed to be. So
We
let
certainly
us
hope that,
finish
yeah.
our work with the task force, but for this contract, it's necessary for us to be giving the shelter board the resources they need.
I think the dispatch just mentioned that our unemployment is at 3.9%, yet we're seeing this rise. And so there's something going on with this oxymoronic, situation. I hope we can get to the bottom of it. I look forward to perhaps getting an interim report on your task force work. That would be very helpful.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 407-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 408-16, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with Columbus Public Health to provide treatment and services to individuals with tuberculosis and operate a tuberculosis clinic for residents of Franklin County in the amount of $1,840,365.
Good morning, Commissioners, again. The contract with Columbus Public Health will provide services to Franklin County residents to treat those individuals who have active TB, and also to screen high-risk populations and detect persons that are infected with TB who could benefit from therapy to prevent the infection and from the disease progressing. With us this morning to share some information and updates on the JSI study that was done about a year ago, to look at some of the ways that the clinic could improve some of the things they were doing and look at adding some other things. We have Dr. Teresa Long, Health Commissioner, Tiffany Kraus, Clinical Administrator for the Health Department, and Linda LaRoche, Director of the Ben Franklin TB Clinic.
Good morning.
Good morning to each of you. I hope you've all had a good weekend, healthy and active. So thank you so much for the introduction. So just a little bit of background about what we've been busy doing on your behalf, protecting health here in Franklin County, and then I'll comment a little bit on the next steps from the JSI report as well. So indeed, we have been busy on your behalf. Last year in 2015, we actually provided treatment and follow-up for 70 active cases of tuberculosis, 124 suspect cases of tuberculosis right here in Franklin County. We know that 7 of the 70, once one person has tuberculosis, we're concerned about co-infections. So 7 of the 70 active cases actually were co-infected with HIV. 2 of the cases also had multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, so again, of great concern. We did provide a lot of direct observed therapy, being sure that people are being appropriately treated. We also did evaluate 153 TB contacts. Well, I'll go on. That were actually 41 of them were diagnosed with latent TB. So actually, when we added up all of those that we screened, beyond the 70 that actually had active disease, there were 170 who had latent TB infection. So again, we have been very busy here in Franklin County, and I could go on, but we continue to work closely both with Carla, but also the County Health Department, the Ohio Department of Health. We do host a TB partnership or a coalition that meets quarterly, again, trying to reach out to providers to be sure that they are doing all of the screening or sending people to us that need be. So shifting to the JSI, the John Snow Incorporated report, we did appreciate that. It's really been now just about a little over a full year since we got those recommendations. And indeed, we have been busy making changes. One of them that we were not necessarily planning on, but actually we do have new leadership of the program, which is, again, helpful because it's new eyes. So some of the recommendations that JSI made were around program design. And so indeed, we have been making changes in that program design. They encouraged us to actually have more physician time. So in fact, we do have more physician time, but we actually have dropped back on the advanced practice nurse. So, again, we are coming to you with a request for actually level funding from last year, just so that makes sense to you. We have indeed increased screening in high-risk areas, and we're going to continue to do that. We actually have, and one of the recommendations, and actually something we had been working on, and the opportunity is now much greater, to try and get people on insurance. So in fact, we are actively working on that. We actually work in partnership also with County Job and Family Services and have people on site now at Columbus Public Health every day to help us make sure that we're able to get people either onto expanded Medicaid or onto the exchange. So we've actually increased that as well. Let me think what else I would, again, I mentioned that we're working well with Carla. We continue to try and adjust staffing, so make changes appropriate that were recommended by JSI. So indeed, I think we've made good progress on the recommendations, and I think Carla is probably very familiar with some of those as well. So I would be happy to respond to any of your questions.
Dr. Long, just a quick question about results, and that 70 active and, of course, the other numbers you gave us is still quite concerning. How does that stand vis-a-vis the previous several years? Are we making progress? Is it getting worse? Are we just getting more people here who are more fragile coming in? Because I know we still have a lot of immigrants in the community coming from other countries where unfortunately TB is
correct. And that really, Commissioner Brooks, you're asking, and I apologize, Commissioner President, Commissioner Brooks, you are asking the right questions. And I don't believe this has much to do with poor programming. Actually, this really has everything to do with how our community has been welcoming to people from many different places. So indeed, and just, I think you're familiar that we have just finished 18 or so, 16 active months of Ebola monitoring in this community. And Columbus by itself monitored about 65% of all of those who had been returning from West Africa. When we added our partners at Franklin County Public Health, we were up at about 70% for the entire state. So it's just one measure. I can also tell you that we continue to have, we think, very good case finding. So we're working hard to find people. But we do have the highest case rate in the state of Ohio.
And we have for quite some time.
And we have for
Yeah.
some time. That actually, it hasn't changed dramatically. Thank you, they're saying no. But indeed, we are ahead of Cuyahoga County, which is the next, and actually Hamilton County. And what I don't know about Hamilton County is that their rate really mirrors the state. We are really much greater than the state's rate for tuberculosis, which again is not surprising knowing, how we have been welcoming to many people here. So again, it isn't dramatically changing. The numbers are not really increasing rapidly. Actually, as you may recall, back right around 2000, 2001, 2002, we actually had over 100 cases, 109, 110. So in fact, we did request assistance to really look at it, and we had CDC come in and spend quite a bit of time with us, and they said, you've got a great program. This is really reflective, again, of what's going on in the community.
So because we have been more welcoming and because we have a higher caseload, should we be getting a little more money somewhere other than just our county funds?
Right. So there is totally. I mean, again, that would be something that would be great to talk to the state about. There are a couple things that we'd like to talk to the state about. I think Carla's familiar with some of those. I know I talked to Eric Janis some time ago. I think I saw Eric. He slipped away. But indeed, it would not be unreasonable to ask the state for how else they would be willing to partner with us. The Centers for Disease Control does have a small amount of money. There's a small amount of money that comes through the state that does come directly to the county that does support this, but it is not nearly.
But we get no state general funds or any specific targeted?
I don't believe they're state general funds at all.
Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe that's something to think about in the future as we continue to, host people, and we
Correct.
need the workforce building that immigration brings, so, but there's some cost to that, too.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
We, unlike the Columbus of my youth, where most folks look like me or others here in the room, Columbus has become a unbelievable metropolitan city with folks coming from literally dozens of other countries around the world, Latin America, the Middle East, East and West Africa, Russia. I mean, we've got, that's just to name a few, we've got people coming, and it's very unlike, Columbus of 30 years ago, 35 years ago. And so because we've been very welcoming and happily so, we have to address these types of issues. So glad that you were able to make it this morning and discuss it with us.
And if you need help asking for additional dollars, I hope you'll call upon us.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will move for approval of Resolution 40816.
Second that.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 408-16 has been adopted.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for your
Thank
support
you.
and interest. Thank you.
Resolution number 409-16, resolution authorizing a collaboration agreement with the Affordable Housing Trust for Columbus and Franklin County to support the production of affordable housing units in the amount of $2,571,488.
Good morning, Commissioners. Again, with the Affordable Housing Trust, this contract will encourage home ownership in order to stimulate development of affordable homes and homes near employment centers. One of the other interesting things that we're doing with this contract this year is that the Affordable Housing Trust will be entering into an MOU with Community Mediation Services to provide mediation services to low-income tenants that are at risk of eviction. Again, trying to look at some of the preventive measures so that people don't end up in the shelter system. Pending any questions, we request approval of this resolution.
Happy to move for approval of 40916.
I'll second that. And we usually get an economic development analysis too when we have this before us regarding the number of jobs that have been created with, relatively small amounts being leveraged in terms of building the affordable housing. Can we get that if we didn't get it this
Yes,
time?
we can get that
Okay.
for you.
All right, thank you. Second the motion.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 409-16 has been adopted. Resolution 410-16, resolution authorizing a sub-grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Health to support a tuberculosis detection and treatment program and administer medically approved course of treatment in the management of individuals diagnosed with tuberculosis in the amount of $252,672.
Well, Commissioners, this is our annual allocation from the Ohio Department of Health. In the past, it had been in grant form, and it was all electronic through their system. They have changed their system this year, and so it will be a contract. We are actually being funded for cases that the county served the prior year, so in 2015. So our allocation is up slightly this year than it has been in the past. Again, as Dr. Long mentioned, we had 70 cases in 2015, so this is a reflection of that. This funding will then go to Columbus Public Health for the Ben Franklin TB Clinic to be used for services providing residents here in Franklin County. Pending any questions, we request approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 41016.
And I'll second that. And just quickly, I think she also indicated this is federal dollars passed through the Ohio Department of Health.
Correct.
Yes, thank you.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 410-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 411-16, resolution authorizing recycling of information technology equipment declared obsolete by the Franklin County Automatic Data Processing Board.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Assistant Director, Public Facilities Management. Periodically, the Franklin County Data Center requests our assistance in disposing of surplus IT equipment. Today's action is in keeping with the board's commitment to promote sustainable principles and to reduce the environmental impact on the Franklin County landfill. Pending any questions, PFM requests your approval to dispose of this e-waste. Thank you.
Move approval of 41116.
I'll second that and just mention that several countries, or I should say counties, around the country have adopted zero waste resolutions and have been very effective in reducing the pricing on this type of waste. So we may want to take a look at that and look at some of those communities where they've been able to bring this price down. I know we've had really good success, but just, perhaps a review of that. We've been doing it for a long time.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Second motion.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 411-16 has been adopted.
Thanks, Darla.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darla. Benefits and Risk Management. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Resolution number 412-16, resolution authorizing the settlement of a workers' compensation claim against the county by Hammond Russell III in the amount of $60,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Maggie Snow, Director of Benefits and Risk Management for the last time here at General Session. In this resolution, this is actually a settlement of 3 workers' comp claims for the total of $60,000. The gentleman is a former employee. This has been reviewed by the prosecutor's office, and the settlement has been supported. Pending any questions, I recommend passage of this resolution.
Move for passage of 41216.
Second that, and you said supported, so does that mean recommended?
Yes, Commissioner, it does.
Thank you. Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 412-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 413-16, resolution authorizing the settlement of 2 workers' compensation claim against the county by Deanna Bailey in the amount of $25,000.
Commissioners, this is actually a settlement of one workers' comp claim by Diana Bailey. She is a former employee, and pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 41316.
And this one's recommended by the prosecutor?
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay, second that.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 413-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 414-16, resolution authorizing the settlement of two workers' compensation claims against the county by Cody Plank in the amount of $20,000.
Commissioners, this is a settlement of a claim for a former county employee. It has been reviewed and approved by the prosecutor's office. Pending any questions, I recommend your approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 41416.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 414-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Maggie.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Human Resources.
Resolution number 415-16, resolution approving personnel action.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Young, representing Human Resources. I have the following personnel actions this week. Benefits and Risk Management, 1 retirement. Child Support Enforcement Agency, 1 resignation, 1 retirement. Department of Job and Family Services, 1 temporary work level extended and 1 resignation. Public Facilities Management, 1 promotion. Sanitary Engineering, 1 resignation. And Board of Commissioners, 1 new hire. Pending any questions, I request approval of the resolution.
Move approval of 41516.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 415-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Rob. Purchasing.
Resolution number 416-16, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $926,623.11.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Balanier, Assistant Director of Purchasing. The resolution before you requests your approval of 106 purchase orders. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as to the availability of funds by the county auditor. Pending any questions, we recommend their approval.
I will move for approval of 41616.
Second that.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 416-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
And the Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 417-16, resolution of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to convene into executive session for the purpose of discussing pending or imminent court action.
I will move to convene into executive session for the purpose of conferring with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or imminent court action.
I'll second that.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 417-16 has been adopted.
That concludes today's meeting. I guess we'll be back in here after executive session to convene, to come out of executive session and convene, or not convene, but to end the meeting, adjourn the meeting. Thanks.